conversation is good. Today, Professor Jimmy Kandeh he been shake small water on Facebook. We talk say Mende from the Mali Empire and Temne from the Foutah Djallon not too indigenous to Sierra Leone. Originally, the tribe they don't born from Sierra Leone. They are not birthed inside Sierra Leone. Not to Saloon, they start. Mende and Temne. But the point we it try for make, now for say, we Sierra Leoneans them, Sierra Leone, the country itself, now a country of immigrants them. Not to for say, Mende no get place or Temne no get place, no. A conversation we be try for stare, now for say, Saloon, now a country of immigrants. Mende originated from the Mali Empire and Temne now from Foutah Djallon. That's so they take come inside Salon. The conversation was interesting. It was interesting. So somebody asked, say, what? It's like say this word we talk so say the Temne. They get a tribe just like the Temne where they inside Guinea. And then call them Landuma. Landuma. And so they call the tribe where Temne originated from inside Guinea. So it was a good conversation, unless few people then will come inside the conversation for can bring politics inside, but it was a good one. And I want to go through some of the conversation, how everything unfold after a post that. But I tell you, see, Usai it be one for make the conversation drive to na for say Sierra Leone na a country of immigrants. So Lila and Slima joined the conversation. Even the bank governor joined the conversation. But I go try for pick and try for lay premise. Let me get an understanding about how some people then take them inside and how the conversation go. Ryan Slima say, he say, for make person go get sense out of this discussion, for the sake of intellectual discourse, for make person go get sense out of this discussion, I want to ask this question. What in the perspective about indigenous occupation or settlement? Okay. Ah, see. Maybe Tiara say we the limbas them. Now we okay. No wonder. Now I know the reason why. Temne man them fine, so it is to a level. Yes, now the same Professor Jimmy Kandeh from FBC, the political scientist, I think. Yeah. I've been Tiara. All right. There we go. So, he asked about settlement. That's na Lawrence Slima Professor clarify am like this. He say only the Limba and the Sherbro go able claim indigenous status inside Salone. The Limba and the Sherbro for say we na this tongue na me three na ya. He say na them two. Na them go able knock chest like that. He say the Mende them then a descendant of the Manis will be invade Sierra Leone in the 16th century. He say whereas the Temne them be already there inside Salone when the Mende them come. But the Temne them be push them out of Foutah. Or be pushed them there. Now the full of them. And that one they be happen now the 15th century. The 15th century. Now in the Temne them come inside Salone. The 16th century, now in the Mende them come inside Salone. But the 15th century, now the full of them. Now them be push the Temne them from Foutah. And for the Creoles and the crew them, now later, now them become inside. And then become inside the 18th century. Most of we ethnic are also found in, most of them, different tribe there, we can find them in other African states them. Yeah. So inside this one answer about this settlement, we Lawrence Lima ask, Professor say, 15th century, the Temne then come inside, we then push them from Foutah Djallon, the full of them. 16th century, the Mende then come inside. When I invade, then can invade. 18th century, the Creole then come inside. The Creole and the crew them at the 18th century, and then come inside. So, Lawrence Lima say, he gets a different perspective on that. I don't know if who are we going to blame for our history? Who do we get for blame for our history? Because even some of these, the sources from this conversation some people let me take them personal anyway. When they talk about people, we go refer you to in sources I get information. Even in Sierra Leone, if we want to talk about we history, what then they teach in school. Amos we sabi. Amos. Oh, sabi but we history. That's why whenever we history come up, some man go take personally what he think about in own tribe. Waiting. But anyway, let's continue. You get somebody else who come in. We try for laying your own foundation, say the Fulani Jihad of the Yalonka territory, that one they be happen inside the 18th century, and actually now be 1725. Francis Gundema, thank you for the stars. So in the question, see, if that one day happen inside the 18th century, then at the Fulani Jihad of the Yalonkan territory, how can a people that had been documented being in the area of Sierra Leone when the Portuguese came. 300 years prior to the jihad happening, that means say, wetin professor dey talk, no to true. You say no to true. Okay. You say not so true? That means it is not true and completely impossible for the Temnes to have been forced to migrate from Foutah Djallon when they already be done dey inside Salon when the jihad started. He said to Ram, that 15th century, 16th century, he said he not add up to Ram. Second, the Temnes and the Mendes both have same aristocracy. For Musa, he said from the Mani people and the Musadu in Guinea. He said that's how them be defeat, them be conquer and mixed with the native population them, will then create a new culture group so that these people them they are not indigenous, in go agree. Okay, it continue and all and all and all. La come first Usai Professor answer this one. He say agree with the point. We for the na be talk that one day. We not agree on the transformation of identities after the Mani invasion. But the way we talk about the Fulani Jihad and the sub-region, he say it incorrect. And the Temne and the Mende, they not share the same aristocracy. They have always conducted each other as the other. The Temne and the Mende, they know we say then get something from the money. Say no. Mende man and Temne man, they always look themselves as the other, the opposite of each other. Temne, Limba, Sherbro, Krim, Kisi were lumped together and other labeled SAP by the Portuguese. But whereas there is no history of Limba and Sherbro migration to Sierra Leone. All the other tribe them, you go find the other side, they go find say them be migrate. He say about Limba and Sherbro, they are origins of Sierra Leone. You know they find no other side. Eh? Limba and Sherbro migrated from. He say about the same, you know go say for Temne and Kisi. He say wetin make it the wonder more. Now how Kisi and inland people came to share linguistic with the coastal Sherbro. That's the language, the tongue, the own tribe where they talk. Gizi almost feel like Sherbro. Sherbro, we know say na coastal. At the water side. Tumbo and all this na the water side. And they defend the fishermen people. Whilst the Gizi na be inland people them. You say showing the wonder how they're able for share like this traits in the language. He said, but the point where in the tribe for say that we are a nation of immigrants, and many of our Pathway lineage are foreign. When the way born we, na Kandeh come inside. Alosan say the same. These days, salon politics don't make a act, or they deny we about we history. Say then they forget say we history now I make who that we be today as a country and as a people. So since Foutah be the try for challenge Professor kindly ask him say, but dear Foutah, kindly share with me as we all learn. So you want to tell me say the team need them not to Foutah them come out? Now so the historical record tell you. Also the full of them presence na Foutah. Jihad, no Jihad, predated 15th century movement of Temne to the coastal Sierra Leone. They ask some question. May Musa say we start late, no? We not start late, but right to for don't come on here. But what you meet sweeper? Now for say the Mende and the Temne originally not to from Salon. Now come then come. They migrated. Now you meet sweeper. But now come because the Lima be asked a question about settlement. Professor Jimmy be answer him. Then he say he no agree. This time waiting Inca with. He say I don't come, Professor. Even though me, I belong to beaucoup of we ethnicity than as alone. He say in a Mende, Loco Sherbro. He say, but let's come back to this issue of indigenous people of Sierra Leone. He said the word indigenous, an adjective English word we mean originating or occurring naturally in a particular place. Margaret Ballard, you're welcome on board. He said, when I look and find people or ethnicity where originate or occur naturally in a particular place. He said this is not the case for the Mende in the south and the eastern part of Salon. Musa say today something strange. If you say today, now so be not used for do. But today we get him for talk now. It's all about the good old days. We just want to know we origin. That's all. According to Ibrahim K. Selu, is that Kaiselu? On PC Al Kaisamba 1 of Nongoa Chiefdom, 1902 to 1956, page 5, it talks say, until recently, no serious injury had been made on the subject. It's been that the Mende arrived relatively late in what is today known as Sierra Leone even though mere evidence is now available, the origin of the Mende still pose a problem for the researchers. McCullough states that the Mende appear to be one of the oldest group of settlers in Sierra Leone, in spite of the many problems pertaining to their exact arrival. One thing is ever clear, that during the said Holy War of the Foutah Djallon, the Mendes were still an inland people, though coming to the coast to trade woven cloth for salt at the end of the 18th century. So he quotes from the book where he say, according to Abraham Kaiselu or Kaiselu, I don't know if it's Kai, because I get Abraham Kaiselu now the Albert Academy, so I make a feel so. Yeah. So let me argue say that title the one give Mende. Yeah? No. But remember, we're not discussing this about Mende and Temne, this and that. It's fine for Sabi history. It's fine for know your history. So now you can just like how they discuss be they go on Facebook, where now just few people come there for coming ranka business. But if you go through them, you go learn a lot. I'm not able to read all, but key points then they we I be don't take we nine we they go through so. He said it is fairly well established fact for say the Mendes as an ethnic and cultural group are a result of cultural admixture. It seems probably therefore as a result of the many invasion and 2 or 3 other factors that we mix together. One, a Mende factor which includes a northern and southern and a local or indigenous factor. You see, when you look on the oral tradition, it seems to be in general in agreement on the introduction of the Mende factor. As I recall, the ancestors coming from Koi, women up country, for example, the tradition of Dodo and Dama. He said the many invasion, that's a for Mali side now. He said we will look at beaucoup tribe them been didi. You get the Gola, you get the Vai, you get the Krim, you get the Yalonka, you get the Kranko, you get the Bandi, you get the Sherbro, you get the Bulob. Among all these different ethnicities, the Mende be emerged as the predominantly ethnicity. But all, when I the Mende name be stand out. This one ain't conform with the oral explanation of the origin and the meaning of the Mendes. That is, the Mendes have been in Sierra Leone even before the fall of the Mali Empire. They say that the Mali invasion out the Mende them inside Salon. Again, don't come here and can't feel say we're talking about history. And myself still want for Timap on waiting Professor Timap say Sierra Leone na a country of immigrants. A country of immigrants. Even the United States, even Australia, you get waiting The original people. Then they. But Africa, I don't know. Even now, the point say the Limbas and the Sherbros, or some people say, oh, Bulom. Yes. Now, them originally be they inside Salon. For all man come. We not even they agree to that self-us. Because of we history. Because of we history. Because by right, just like how you get Aboriginal Australia, you get America, all man call you different one. We for able fend the Limbas them and then self able for tell we the history. But the way it is now, but where they go? So in the argue say, the Mendes them be done this salon before the Mali Empire being for them. He said the remnants, that's the one that will be left of the Mali Empire who invaded Sierra Leone, Sontemo, they meet Mende Dendi. And perhaps met the Mendes here and they had their language and spoke it. This is the meaning of the word Mende. That is Men-B-D. This further resonates with the meaning of the Mende word Yani. We have been here when all of you came. That is Muyabi for Wukpe Wuwe. Muyabi for Wukpe Wuwe. Okay, una mitwi na ya ona kam. Let's see. Somebody come say, dear professor, we don't left that one day for Switzerland, that one day. Can you please help us the true origin of Sierra Leone? He say because my history lesson say Limba, Sherbro, and Loco. This person can add Loco. Massacre Evan, if you know you understand and I left. Yeah? Any kind way. Anyway na way. Now I say yes. But Loco no didi. Na Limba and Sherbro. Locos, like the Mendes, are offshoots of the Manis. And Loco, the linguistic cousin, na Mende. That's the way how they talk. Maybe you go find word pan Loco way de pan Mende. I don't know. So somebody they say, initially, not to Sherbro, they call them. They call them Bulom. He said the word Sherbro, now like a distorted or shortened form of the Mani King. When I be Sherabola, will be settled amongst the Bulom them. So, Professor Jimmy be one for clarified outside DC. He said the Manis overran Sherbro Island and Sherbros surely did not come later. Because somebody they can say Sherbro, they say na can not to. He say come later from where? He say, my dear, before they can talk now, do yourself a favor. Read Walter Rodney's History of Upper Guinea Coast for starters. You go find Andy. But he agree for say the Sherbro are shortened form. Now second one, he say as a Mende man, he understand Loco, but he not go able to come. So that's why Professor Jimmy say na linguistic cousin Loco them to Mende. So Karimba, we all sabiam. Okay, maybe if you're on Facebook, you go sabiam. Himself joined the conversation. He said, "Thank you, Professor. But yeah, I just got one question. What explains the fact that majority of those who identify as Temne and Limba today have Mende, Madinka, clan names and surnames like the Kamara, Kandeh, Sise, Koroma, Touré, Tarawali, Mansare, etc. I can name them on and on and on. Is it just Madinka assimilation? I have the feeling that the Limbas are also migrants from other parts of Africa, but much more earlier, making it difficult for me to trace them. For making them trace them. This time because there is very little known about the history of Ceylon, Guinea, Liberia before the 1500. Is it possible for say we just not know too much because of lack of historical data, and therefore we're not going to be able to make such a categorical conclusion for say that the Limba and the Sherbro them originate from Ceylon, because waiting do not find the other side. So can anybody say something? Name don't come way Ali. I make. Who do we turn to for we history? Mem Zobi Safa, thank you for the stars. Eh? Okay. This now waiting Professor Jimmy say. He say, remember, Farmer Tammy, founder of the Temne Nation in Sierra Leone, was himself not Temne, but became one. You know that? For say the founder of Temne, Temne Nation in Sierra Leone, not to be Temne, Farmer Tammy, but became one. Temne get history of assimilating the Mende speaking conquerors whose Mande culture and institution were incorporated into Temne identity and culture. Many Temne are of Soso, Kuanko, and Madingo origins. So now I make you go find their names then they inside Temne people them. He say the different culture they will get, they all mix inside fine. We come up fine for we. But that one day not endanger the national cohesion. Hassan Aruni, BBC Hassan Aruni, self can inside this talk. For say, I hope say somebody go try for answer this so. But yeah, then we get to one country where they call Salon, where then two ethnic groups and they move there. Was there a country called Sierra Leone when those two ethnic groups moved there? If the only two groups indigenous to Sierra Leone are the ones mentioned, that na Sherbro and Limba, but yeah, they be able to occupy all the territory when now they call Salon now today. Personally, I hope the focus will be on fostering a sense of nationhood out of these many ethnicities that share this beautiful African country. I'll see waiting because let me see. On this one, okay, somebody else can answer. Say, Emily said the two mentioned tribes are indigenous to Salon because them be there before Salon come into existence and the establishment of the colonial borders, and also they not find them two tribes there no side any other part of Africa. Well, they can search for them Limbade and the Sherbro them. They can search for them. Lord Siba will go find them. So that's how we say wait to. But the other two ethnic groups were present before the arrival of the colonial, when they can draw line around the lands. And na them proclaim them and call them Salon. Whose side we go begin and end the argument over? Whose side would have been there, would have not been there? Na before or na trade or na after. Okay, that would go. Because there was one way the bank governor self come inside. Now they look for. So somebody asks Professor C, the Asians, the Middle Easterns, then serve them as Salon too. Who side then team up with this coming here alley? Eh? Udaka alley, Udaka later, we are not to the same. This person they ask. Again, Professor Jimmy want for remind and say, we are a nation of immigrants and we are all Sierra Leoneans. No one anymore so and no one any less. Nobody in Salon no pass the other Salon person. I don't know if you know who side this person they come up from. Since Professor they say, Salon a country of immigrants, these people came in. This person now in the can talk more especially for the Lebanese. And this person, I make it axi. We get the Asians, we get the Middle Easterns. Okay, Udaka Ali now, Udaka Litu, we all like Akam. Akaukam. Here the answer we give. I think this person is Gizi. So he asks, but yeah, you can tell we small, but we Gizi tribe. Professor say, from the little we you know about Gizi, the Gizi linguistically, by the way they talk, then link to the Sherbro. And they were labeled Sep by the Portuguese. So the presence in this present day saloon, they show we see many invasion and with them. Okay. Oh Lord. You get this post we say? So guess what now de panaya? Trying to be intellectual, coming with all kinds of persuado. Theories them about Uda first come and settle whosoever the first person we can settle. I'll come to, let I read first Abdullah Bundu content before I come to this person here. He said not necessary for dive into some delirious interpretation of we history in order to understand Sierra Leone. A country like Russia, for example, has a wide range of ethnic groups from the Caucasian mountains to the northern Siberia. Also, you go find the nomadic people such as the Nana. In our day and age, Russia is a single people. Negative or divisive arguments are always used by unprogressives. It's not necessary to discuss this meaningless nonsense, but to find a way forward to unite Africa. This is the problem. Why don't you want to know your history? Eh? And you talking about nonsense and fools. Why? Eh? Like seriously? This not the problem we make. Everybody they come and chip in and give you waiting the one for lawyer. Even the one the way he talks so. They know their history. They're not shy away from their history. They're not shy away. Certain thing we don't create like a taboo, like a bubble, like say go boss if people didn't talk about their history. Eh? God help me. But I'll continue. He said we not get any clue about the origins of the Sierra Leonean tribes. The point when they try for me, tribes them not just they disappear from their points of origin. We should have residue or remnant of the Mende or Temne tribe outside of Sierra Leone. It's always true they try for talk there. For just satisfy the so-called intellectual ego, the ego for the one away land book. More power to you all. Wetin me sabi, I belong to the Mende and the Temne tribe of Sierra Leone. My Ampa chiefdom, not an region, Lone South to be exact. It's talk Kenyon. Professor can answer him. Paddy man, nobody know the guest na Air Force. Well, let I talk for myself. Me, professor, not the guest na ya. And if you want for learn small, read Rodney in book. If you want for learn. I get beaucoup Mende padi them of Madingo, Fula, even Temne the Saint. And there are no pure ethnics in Sierra Leone. I dey learn from historians them and not political pundits. No political ego like how you talk. How insulting for they even tell me that. Eh? In researching construction of ethnic identities in our country and write a book on the subject, you are neither pure Mende on your mother's side, nor pure Temne on your father's side. And the Kayamba chiefdom, where you reference, was named after a Kono warrior. Pa Gulama also had a mixed ancestry. The ancestry of most Sierra Leoneans lies outside Sierra Leone, and no ethnic is more Sierra Leonean than the other. So even the person we can begin talk about ego, no ego, and all these things. He even help him for making no more about your heritage. Eh? Même so be left. Let's see. Somebody ask again, we all the land. This is the history. Yeah? We all the land. But irrespective of whether they are originally from there or not, then they now. So, what happened? Of course, automatically, by accepting the above, there is the Creoles of course have no legal standing in Sierra Leone. It's like this person in common with you, né? For say the Creole they not get legal standing. Professor Jimmy say, To the contrary, it means ancestors of most of us were settlers, and Creole is only different in terms of its wider sub-regional lineage and greater exposure to the West. This man come back say, he said, but the Creole them not very, very recent compared to the other one them. And now when they not carry way too. But anyway, you sabi more about the region than me. So Professor Jimmy asks us now, and he say the Creole them because they carry it and they not carry weight. He says so the Temne carries more weight because they got here before Mende. He said, I don't think so. He said, according to the above, the person answer say yes. Me, that's what I think. Then get weight past them. Somebody can say, he said, dear professor, sometimes you say for the listen. He said, recommend a good book on this topic. Something where I go able to read easily. And where easily I can able to order them online. Professor say, Walter Rodney in book where he call History of the Upper Guinea Coast. Walter Rodney in book where he call History of the Upper Guinea Coast. I want to go airport. Okay. Somebody can ask, say, Professor, what you say indigenous? Indigenous, eh? Inside this context, so they talk so. You dey try for say then they come up from the ground. Yeah? He said because according to Joe Ediali in Short History of Sierra Leone, the Temne and Limba come out from Foutah Djallon. He said no human being no come out from a river or pit. All human beings came from somewhere and also out of migration. While some tribes, you go say, come many years ago. The Europeans and they meet the Temne at the coast of western area. Besides, it's only in Sierra Leone you can find real Temne and Mende because those tribes properly formed and integrated in Sierra Leone. The Limba people you see today absorbed a wealth of the Mandingo people, so also the Temne and Mende. So Professor say, well, what you they talk so? Let's just remind you, say, we share many ethnies with Liberia, Guinea, including Mende within Liberia. Pasika say, what to? You say the Temne then are from Foutah? And Professor say yes. Driven out of there by the Fula, whose jihad did the same to Soso and Yalonka. The Yalonka originally now from Foutah Djallon. So that same jihad day, na inka out Soso and Yalonka inside Salon. So the person they say, yes, I know say the Yalonka, and so they take I say, but Temne, I not be no. He say, Kandeh, or the spiritual retreat for the Temne chiefs name, they take place in Mythic Foutah. He said themselves they do the same thing there. Just so you know. Somebody can make fun. He say, Brother Jimmy, what you want to tell me? Me mama na Mende, me papa na Temne. So I suppose to abandon my secret presidential fantasy. Professor repeats the word. May I just the talk say, we are an immigrant nation. Only Limba and Sherbro can claim indigenous status. Coming here early does not make any one group more indigenous than the other who came later. Eh? Okay. Somebody can ask for you, Milton. Ah, si, bien sûr. My guys are Mende of Kono ancestry, and both Milton and Albert identify as Mende. Stevens Limba identify was fictive, and Bill is Mende, not Sherbro. Mendes, but not Temnes, have served as head of state. Joby Bengali, okay, thank you. I will check him out here. I will check him out. Alright, I don't see him. But when I put this together, because that's the other thing back home. The way he send me, so that put them together. Because since I did on here and I can't check it out. The person may ask, say, so because the Limba and the Sherbro them, now them come early. So now I make now them be done the rule we take go. I make Professor answer about the Magais, Bills, and Steven. I try to find the one way the other professor himself become inside. So somebody they argue for Sheikh Stevens. So professor say Stevens spoke no Limba. Sheikh Stevens no sabi talk Limba, but he be fluent for talk Mende. The Limba identity was adopted or fictive because in Papa reportedly na from Bambara. This now from Professor Ion. The question and answer. I had a giso. Oh, she's on side and day. Then the Roger Sinisi, he said Africans not being indigenous of the African continent according to the artificial borders drawn up by the figment of the white people. And now family considered gospel truth. A professor appears to be a victim of the record state from the Colonial library. As they come for professor. He said no. What did he talk? Simply tracing lineage. Identities are being an African does not make you an indigene of every African country. Because this person they see, now because they're with people in Kangiwi border, you know, say now we get border to Liberia will get border to Guinea, all border to Ghana, Liberia get border to. So now make professor they say, even without the border, we not go say we all common at the same place. Like say Africa and one big space suicide all man common. No. African identity transcends citizenship, and it's not about who is indigenous to what country. What you for dispel is the prevalent notion that some groups are indigenous and others are not. Hmm? Okay. This person can say, Professor, I get problem. Me mama na Sherbro. Sherbro Creole. And me na Mende. So, the history way they give it so. Sherbros are original inhabitants. Mendes arrived before Creoles, but all equally Sierra Leonean. Must this say in grammar, may his soul rest in peace, tell them exactly about the late Papa Sheki of Bambara origin. And he been very adamant about the Magai as well. It used to you left them from Sanda, because the carry okay. Let's continue. This guy Jody Tawano more. But no. This person say, before the coming of these two tribes, that is the Limba and the Sherbro, but who them be the inside salon? Who them be the inside salon? Professor answer and say, the Limba and the Sherbro them be already there. Eh? And we not get any history say na migrate I can't then come. Then be already there. So who side and come out? Me I add now. Who side and come out? Where in Canada? Who then be the first person we spot here? The kind of other person say, what time they come on that gun? You know they come up thick. Eh? How? Well, that part of history, na ain't hide pawi. So now I make the Limba and the Sherbro go get away with that one day. But if we find them any other side, we go link them there. However, we're not able to find them. Only in Sierra Leone. Okay. So here comes Professor Gida answer there. Here comes the bank governor, Professor Kefala Kalon. Himself can say now. What this person say? Well, who da been there na ya? Eh? Who da been there? Professor Kefala Kalon, bank governor, Tradi, or vacation bank governor. If as we are taught, humans originated in the Rift Valley area of Africa. He said, if I remember fine, I think the oldest human fossils have been found there. That's inside the Rift Valley area of Africa. Then the Limba and Sherbro must have migrated from somewhere. He said, but we not currently know from whence the migration started and the end. He said, but then they not go just trade the fact, say, themselves too, they migrated at some point. Now some side they come out at some point. If we want for take, within the paleontologists have confirmed, humans started migrating out of Africa 50,000 years ago. In that same sense, ours is a world of immigrants. Professor Kandeh answered Professor Djallon. Impossible to negate what we don't know, but the fact that we are a nation of immigrants is largely, we go agree. We don't know if they migrate or they don't migrate. We don't know. Bank governor they say, well, at some point they may migrate. Professor Kandeh they say, we don't know about that, so we can't say they migrate because we don't know. The one who know about, now they talk say yesterday and they migrate, they migrate. So, Lawyer Slim are coming inside. We, Professor Kandeh don't answer the bank governor. He say yes, but that don't mean say they not come up from some side. The fact that they live by the coastal region, that's a strong indication that now migrate say migrate. Then come out some side come inside saloon. I migrate. Then they migrate come inside saloon. And so they say. The fact that the Limbas, have names similar to those in Guinea and other countries neighboring Guinea, a strong indication that they migrated to Sierra Leone. The locals, even though they migrated into Sierra Leone, yet are they original or early settlers of the north? Remember, I say, we get Limba at the program. No, ask the outside and come on. Mabin tiawa. E papa ise na Limba. Usa e papa komo. But you mama na Temne, Madingo and Mende. So Ryan Slim they say, except you want for make who believe say Salon a cave. Na the Wawa mountain of Sierra Leone. He said, I strongly believe say the Mendes they know they ya. When all tribes came to Sierra Leone, for make you say the Limba and the Sherbro are the only indigenous ethnic people in a saloon. are not agree. This is a result of a long-term one-party dictatorship in Sierra Leone, which paved the way for distortion of the historical account. Why make the history of Shengepie is not properly told in Sierra Leone? History accounts that Yangwa is the owner of Sierra Leone. Yangwa is a Mende. His legacies of footprints can be identified in the four corners of Sierra Leone. Next to him is Baibure, who is the father of the north. History accounts that the Limbas are from Guinea and part of Nigeria. And so Lawrence Lima say. Wetin Professor answer am? Professor say, you are entitled to your own opinion, but you cannot rewrite history. Me, Professor, I'm no historian, but I have read widely on this subject and continue to learn. And I suggest say, make you go read Walter Rodney in History of the Upper Guinea Coast. Make you understand, say the Mende are descendants of the Manis who invaded Sierra Leone. What's in this you one party state business get for do to wait till they talk now? Knowledge is not partisan, and spinning facts to conform to your own world view is not knowledge but propaganda. So now so the conversation begin one for left road. Because Lawrence Lima the Tower say Mende na origin na Salone. Because the first part I read for you is say, well, sometimes, somehow, perhaps, they want to invade them, they don't meet people and they talk Mende, so they just mix their own Mende and they want their own Mende. Okay. Let's see continue about Professor Lefande. The borders them, where then different Europeans them, divided tribes and family when they created current African nations states. Guinea has more Soso, Kurankor, Yalonka than Saloon. Landuma prevalent in Guinea, like Sherbro, is very similar to Temne. Professor Kandeh say that's why citizenship should not rest on false and contested nations of who is indigenous. Okay. Now they go. Somebody can ask back, even though the professor be don't talk. Maybe not that last one they go read. Go wait to. Who are indigenous to Sierra Leone? These are the education that the general public need for Sabi. Professor say, Jimmy Kandeh, assimilation, that are incorporation of similar ethnic groups by Mende and Temne, and the fact that both ethnies are regional may help explain their numerical preponderance, and political clout. Limbas are the most loyal APC supporters. Is that true? Limba people, ne? Professor said na the most loyal. Well, I go. So the person not left and he say, wait, I get more question, Professor. Why Mende and Temne now the most largest people in Sierra Leone? You don't really see Loco and Sherbro taking leadership roles in Sierra Leone. What's in the cause of the inactive in national development? I go like for make you elaborate on this discussion further. The person say, well, if you look at the problem of Sierra Leone, these two ethnic groups, they're at the center of all things. You hardly go identify another ethnic group. We need for Intiglo address the bottleneck if we want to go before assassination. This person the character about the Gize and the Gula standing come. I think if you don't answer Nandi. He still team up say Limbas and Sherbros. Na them. Alright. Let's see. Limba. This person say the better historical facts here was that no Creole no be there in the 1400s and the 1500s. Other person can answer that person. They say you come into a talk show, say 1400 and 1500. They say your comments could be considered as a pathological variant, better historical fact. In what sense? And why single out an ethnic group? Professor Kamisai, it's a false narrative that attempt to exclude Creole, Kru, and Fula as migrants while forgetting the immigrant ancestries of the numerical preponderant ethnics. Okay, the indigenous. Go just send Andy. Then they perfect by the word indigenous. It's a historical fact they see. Okay. Alright, I think we'll go left fire. Forgetting the other attempt for continue this discourse, we will continue. Tribes then don't already settle before the existence of Sierra Leone. Referring tribes' origins to other region is part of colonial mentality to divide the people. This person they say, Professor they say, tribe is one word we in the use. Tracing mixed origin of our ancestors can help demystify our ethnic consciousness and bring us together, not divide us. After Lawrence Lima be done explain all with that in Kaiselo and everything, Kaimba can write this, he say Rotorata. Rotorata. They right. But anyway, now I go left the discourse for today. The Limbas are most loyal and peaceful people in Sierra Leone. Mabinti they say because waiting though. In daddy, na Limba. Massacre van is say lights don't go. Alright. Abaka comes to say the Limbas were the first tribe known to inhabit Sierra Leone. Who side the Limba then come out now one? Who then be the first Limba man? That first Limba man. History not tell we, but we still want to know. The first Limba man na Salone. The first Shebra man na Salone. Now one know. But it is what it is. I don't think say we need for shy away from our history. I don't think say we history for divide we. Your history for make you know your foundation. And your foundation for make you able to build a strong structure. America they say the first Limba man like Sebe. But us here, I went to the discourse today and I was like, I believe say on the good old days, you go finally we just enlighten we self small. And not to foresee anything Mende against Limba against Temne. No. Not to that. But he fine for no say come on. He fine for know the foundation of who say we ancestors them tread upon. We're all migrants. Salon a country of migrants. Amami Kamara left. Well, I believe say we all go agree to that. Must this say for all the Mende and Temne their noise, we still not get president or prime minister from none. You know you Professor Kandeh say Mada Biona Mende o. Wow. All man they cover on. Maybe most people will say they're not Mende or Temne, not even be so. Well, I so go lock the domot today. Okay.